Alrighty, you're all welcome to another time here at the book club. So glad to be here. I'll have King's daughter join me. You're welcome. Thanks for making it out here. It's our book club. I get to do this every Sunday afternoon, except when I can't at 2 p.m. West African time. So, we get to read through a book, learn from the book, and we've been on our sixth book in the series. We've been doing this since July, first Sunday in July of last year. And we're yet just in chapter 7 of the book. It's The Good Life. It's a book that was released in January of last year. And it's a compilation of a study of human development. Harvard School, they've been doing a study on human adult development for the last more than 85 years, so they've had different generations of the study. And it's a real life study, just looking at adults as they develop and trying to find out what makes for the right adult development, in terms of what makes it that someone can live long and live well. Wellness mean in health, physically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, and what they found out from the study is that what makes for living a good life, a quality life, is relationships, is having the right kind of relationships and quality of those relationships. If we have the right relationship and the different facets of our life, and we have them in the right quality, then it makes for us. Then it's a good ground foundation for us to have a good life. For us to have a life that we're fulfilled living. For us to be able to live to the highest expression of all that we're made, created to be. It helps us to walk our walk. If we're going to walk our walk, then we need to have, the right relationship and have quality of those good quality of those relationships. It makes a whole lot of difference, for us to enjoy life, you know, that's good. That's what I love to do. I love to enjoy life. Everyone that knows me knows I love to enjoy life. Wherever I am, I carry my weather with me. I am a jolly fellow, you know. But in all of that, I'm still an introvert. But when I feel confident, comfortable in a place, you sure would know that I have a free spirit. I love enjoying life. I love life. I love living life to the fullest, within the limits, of my moral compass. So anyways, we're gonna go in here and do this is gonna be the fifth take on chapter 7. And we'll probably have at least 2 more takes on chapter 7 before we're done with chapter 7. So today we're going to be focusing on emotional coping styles. That's what we're really going to be diving into, talking about different emotional coping styles. Secure, insecure, and if you are insecure, how to come from insecure to secure, because really the right emotional coping style that makes for a quality life is one that is secure, not the one that is insecure. We have insecure due to damage of life, but if we stay with the insecure, we're gonna miss life. We're not going to have the right quality in our relationships. Anyways, like I always do, I'm going to bring up my slide here. We're going to run through today because there's no problem here. The Good Life. Great book. I enjoy it. 10 chapters in all. So after chapter 7 here, we still have 3 more chapters. Like I say all the time, I'm not in a hurry. If we have to read the remaining chapters for the rest of this year, I'm all for it, right? I just want to absorb it. It's not as much as checking the box that we've read the book. It's what has it done to us? How has it changed our life? That's more important to me, than saying I've read the book. It's what have I taken from it? What have I soaked from it? And in what way has my life changed for the better? After having read the book, I'll tell you that my life has changed a lot just since July last year, reading what we've done so far. I have changed. I've learned a lot. I can just hope that every other person that comes to join with us, is also learning something, you're taking something away, feel free, any of my channels, feel free to challenge anything I say. Feel free to ask questions because it's not just a check the box time. It's the opportunity to learn, and take something away that we're trying to do here. So I'm gonna go on here. I'm away from home, so I don't have my normal stand for my phone for the Instagram live. So I'm managing with my laptop. So I'm gonna have to improv. I'm improvising here. My stand is not here. Anyways, that's the book again, and it's written by the two guys, Robert Waldinger and Mark Schulz. They used to be leads there at the Harvard School, that department for the adult development. And, again, it's a compilation of the results of the study, they've had, so again, it's our fifth take in the chapter. And what we've run through this chapter with is this quote by Madeline Lingle, and it says, when we were children, we used to think that when we grow up, we would no longer be vulnerable. We'll no longer be vulnerable. I like to give that example of my last daughter. Yeah, she came into puberty. She expects that I knock the door before I enter a room. I was like, all right, I'm not grown up. You can't just be barging into my room anyhow. You gotta knock. Daddy, you gotta knock. I, I would expect that when she comes to my room, she would knock also. No, 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 no. She owns my room. I don't own her room, And that's just that place coming from a child to puberty to adulthood. And they feel that, all right, now you gotta respect my space. But really, when you then grow into the fullness, of adulthood, you find that uh, vulnerability is a part of life. You need people in your space. Yes, there are boundary positions, but you don't take that too far, right? You can't live life alone. Life was not meant to be lived alone. Life was meant to be lived with other people. You're not going to enjoy life alone. You need other people in your life to get the fullness of what life entails. I love to say this, that the essence of every organism, every human being is not found inside the human being, is found outside of the human being, right? The essence of every organism, the essence of every human being is found outside of that human being, not within the human being. Everything that takes place on the inside of us is for the intent of our engagement with other people. If all we do on the inside here, we don't engage with other people, then it's useless. I love to tie it again with Stephen Covey's book. Stephen Covey wrote that book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. And his first three habits, he puts that, it's the war, winning the war within, winning the war within. The next three habits is winning the war without. And it's rightly arranged, because you cannot win the war without until you have won the war within. Until you have won everything that takes place on the inside of you, you cannot effectively, efficiently, and rightly engage with people, right? Your engagement with people is a function of your engagement with yourself. The peace you would have with other people, your ability to rightly relate with other people, is dependent on your ability to relate with your own self, right? So charity begins at home. Relationship begins at home. Winning the war of life begins at home. Until you have made friends with yourself, you can't make friends with other people. I was just sharing with my friend, Osa, I must have been last Sunday, out exercising in the morning, and we just spend some time, just sharing like we normally do each time we meet, we're just talking about people in need all around, and I will just emphasizing the fact that we should not play God in people's life. The first person you need to take care of yourself, not other people, yourself, right? God created you to take first care of yourself, first of all, before you can take care of other people. There's a reason why the church started in Jerusalem, not in Samaria, nor in the outermost part of the world. The church started in Jerusalem before it went to Samaria, before it went to the outermost part of the world. You got to take care of yourself. If you're not well, you cannot take care of someone else. There's this popular thing going in on social media about Kumuyi saying that maybe don't give money to the church, give money to poor people. I'm sure they are quoting him wrongly because that's stupid, right? That's stupid. You got to take care, first of all, of yourself, your church, your gathering, right? The poor you always have with you. People will always have problem in your life. Doesn't mean you don't neglect. So you're not going to pay the bill of the church because you have poor people. So you're going to go to church and there's no light. You're not going to be able to gather. You're not going to pay the pastor. You're not going to pay your bills. The church is going to be in tatters just because you say there are poor people around. Yes, that's a place to take care of poor people. That's a place to take care of the church. None should be neglected. Life is a balance. It's not about weighing on one side or the other. We live life in balance. That's the problem with people. In the immaturity of their mind, they're always focused on one side or the other. Life is in a balance, balance, balance. The way to live a good life is to live in that balance, not being over to one side or the other. Balance, 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 and you need to be proactive and intentional, right? You need proactive and intentional. Proactive and intentional. You should have a budget with which you spend your money, right? So if you have a budget before now, then that budget should be taking care of everything in your life, including the poor, needy around you. Anyway, that's not the reason why we're having this topic. That's just by the side. Let's go on in this. But the key thing is that we cannot live life alone. We need other people in our life. Like relationship is life's bottom line. We cannot live life fending off other people. The way to live a good life, we have to allow people into our space. However, in allowing them into their space, like I say all the time, there are still boundary conditions that you need to set. You need to have healthy and functional boundaries in your life. As much as you allow people in, it's in a controlled measure, not an uncontrolled measure. You are not God. Every one of us has limits, what we can take and what we cannot take. As much as you allow people into your space, it's not a open for all. It's still with laws, guidelines, instructions, boundary conditions, right? They are the people you allow, the people you don't allow. Even the people you allow, they have limits. There's a limit. Because not everybody likes you. Not everybody loves you. There are some people that want to hurt you, right? So you're not just going to be stupid and just open your innermost court to just everybody, right? There are the people that are meant to stay in the outer court. They're just the people associates. Hi. Yeah, the people in the inner court. And then the people that you allow into the most holy place, the holy of all, holiest of all in your life. They better not be many, right? Inner court, maybe more. Outer court, Bugbero. The whole world can stay in the outer court if they want, but you need to guide your life, Don't be a fool, You need to protect yourself, because there are not too many people that like you, not too many people that love you. Yet you need to love everyone. Love them from afar. It's okay to love them from afar. Only bring close to you the people that you can trust, you know. Yes, you learn that by experience, that yeah, vulnerable, but vulnerable with sense, right? So, some of us we grew up, as much as we say that we need people in our life, and that's what we're created, right? We want to associate with people. So the book Robert Waldinger, Mark Right. So some of us may cling to others during times of stress. You know, we cling to others because we're looking for help. I've been through depression, like I say all the time. And during those times, you're looking for help. You're looking for someone that would have a word for you, someone that could just say something, pray for you, and everything will just be all right. Those were times, as much as painful as it was good that I went through it because it helped me see the end of myself. It helped me understand people better, you know. And during that time, at the end of yourself, I mean, you're looking for someone that you can just put your hand on that will support you. You're looking for someone that could just say a word that will make a difference for you. You're looking for someone that will just pray. I mean, God will hear that person praying, you know, and probably, and it's good. That's what we're looking for. That's what makes life, but in depression, something has probably gone wrong, and you're trying to fix it. And your heart is looking for that, and the book says some of us may cling to others during times of stress, yet have difficulty finding comfort with sick. Sometimes we're looking for that and we might have find difficulty, finding it, while others may avoid closeness because we fear deep down that if we become a burden to others, we will drive them away, and that comes from what we're used to. Sometimes we're looking for it, we don't get it because we're probably looking for it from the wrong people, or and they might not necessarily be the wrong people in terms of their character, just that they're not able to meet us. They're not at that place where they have the right word, for us. Uh, and sometimes, and I remember a time in my life, that was my final year in school. I couldn't sleep. I shared that some weeks ago. And I couldn't sleep because of some things going on in my life, emotional things. And I've hardened myself enough that I wasn't sleeping. And it was my final exam to write. And after an incident, I did go speak to someone who is supposed to be the head of the uh, men in my fellowship back in school. And it wasn't as if he did anything extra. It was just that it was someone to talk to, just someone I could speak to rather than myself. So that time I spent speaking to him, and he shared a short word of prayer with me, made a difference. Sometimes it's just someone to talk to, and that's what we do as counselors, is just listen to people. I do a lot of that. I've been in the counseling for years, decades now, and sometimes it's not because I have the right word, but sometimes it's just being there for someone to speak to, for someone to bounce an idea off of, My goddaughter out in Botswana gets to do that. It's not everything she has to discuss I have the answer for, but at least she finds someone she can speak with, someone she can trust, with trust, not someone that's going to hold something against her, and we can do that for other people. We can do that for people in our life, and that might just be all they need that to solve their problem, and move them to the next level of their life. But when we do that, in terms of trying to find comfort, there are barriers, and we'll talk more about that, but the book goes on and says how we may not be convinced that we're fully lovable, and yet we still need connection. Sometimes, in trying to find connection with other people, we have limitations, from the people's life or our own life. And these are things that have come along with us, as part of our brokenness as we grew. We have what we call emotion. Well, we call emotional attachment or emotional coping styles, which were built as a result of growing up, you know And that results into a fear of intimacy, or it could also be a fear of relationship or fear of commitment.